Speaking of what kids carry and stuff, what are any burdens that you still carry? And I think it's important that for us, especially you and I, to be, as candid as possible. This is a message for other brothers, because we're not the only ones left out of this conversation.
I think the biggest burden is, for me, first understanding that you have one. If you don't
Have a burden?
Yeah. You have to understand that. That's got to be, step one, because otherwise you're just fumbling around in the dark. And it's scary because you have to realize you weren't able to defeat whatever the demon was years and years ago. So you're still carrying it. And how do you get to the point where you can just defeat this thing or handle it? And one of the other areas, I guess, it would be in relationships, that kind of thing. Because in relationships, nobody will get to see me cry. Nobody's going to get to see me just sit down and put my head in my hand and just wonder, what am I going to do? Nobody's going to see that. And any challenges that I have, I just have to internalize it. And I don't trust anybody with that part of me.
To this day.
To this day. Well,
Is that for you something that you want to be able to do? Because to me it would sound like that kind of has a denial built into it, that yes, I recognize I have a problem, but I'm still not willing to share the problem. And so how do you get past the problem if the only one judging whether or not you are progressing is you? You see what I'm saying? You don't have anyone to bounce any of your stuff off of. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I do. So I could see my progress. Right. My kids, they've seen me cry. Patty's seen me crying like over this stuff. Uh-huh. And so it allows me to see me progressing, and I'm able to I'm not in my own echo chamber, so to speak.
Okay. I am in an echo chamber. And it's not as brutal as it can be for some people, because I try to work on myself all the time. And the only thing that even got me through all that part was Sisters Cookie and Tracy, because if it hadn't been for them and the fact that even through this, they accepted me and they loved me and they made me aware of it. If it hadn't been for them, if it hadn't been for those two, I don't think anybody could save me. So because they accepted me, I was able to accept myself and just know that I just keep working on me. And but like I said before, the first thing you got to do is just understand that there is a burden, because I think like up until the letter that Ray sent the other day, I didn't see myself as any kind of victim at all. Still, knowing that you're going through this with the book and all that, I'm like, I'm not going through that. I'm still on my own, basically, dealing with it. So,
but that's still a conscious decision on your part.
For the most part, because being married, I thought that was going to be my safe space for that.
Okay.
And then when it wasn't, it was like, well, nobody else is going in there.
Well, that was interesting, because that was my safe place.
Yeah.
When Patty told me, "You're a victim," I'm like, please.
Right.
What the hell are you talking about? She's like, what are you talking about? All of you boys are victims. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
Stop.
Right.
Stop. She's like, look at you. Look at what you're going through right now. Right. We're in bed. I'm getting ready to go to sleep. And she's like, you know you're a victim. I'm like, what? And then she just said, bop, 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 bop. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah.
It's rough. It's tough.
Yeah, because you go from being unique to being a cliche like that.
Right.
We were unique as entertainers and we became a cliche. We were
Right.
like everybody else.
Yes.
Like, good. Then bad hit me with it. Unique to
Yes.
cliche. But we're part of a group of millions of brothers and men who have to deal with this internally. This is the first time that I've heard you say that you have chosen to never let anyone see you drop a tear over this stuff.
That's an example of what I was saying earlier about the fallout. Nobody gets to see that. I gotta handle that. And if there are times when that happens, that's just me. Nobody else gets to see it. Nobody else gets to hear it. Nobody else even gets a whiff of it.
Wow.